I want to talk about the Falcon and the Winter Soldier premiere. I want us to spend the last 30 minutes, 40 minutes talking about this because I thought this premiere was really, really strong.
Oof.
I love that this premiere gave great characterization to Sam Wilson and to Bucky Barnes as characters. And then we'll eventually get those amazing fight sequences that we know are coming. But that was something that I really, really appreciated between Sam and Bucky. Like Sam, it's all about like the responsibility of having to take on that mantle of Cap and him feeling like he's not ready, and Bucky dealing with accountability and making amends for all of the things that he's done in his past that he was never in control of, but he remembers all of that trauma. So Sensei, I want to start with you. What were some of your like basic thoughts about the premiere in general, and then we'll go into deep spoilers?
Absolutely loved it. A friend of mine said this, and I echo it. Shout out to Take God. We basically both went into or are going into the Falcon and Winter Soldier series with the thought that if you could make me care about Falcon in any way, shape, or form, make his character any type of likable, any type of like I care about you, you will have won me over. And they have done that in the first episode for me. So I absolutely love it. I love how gritty and real they're getting with the Falcon. They're not trying to make him some whitewashed fucking Marvel character. They letting the shit be real. The nigga is in the bank fucking begging for a loan like a lot of niggas need to do. Like, you know what I mean? Like they address his level of fame in this superhero shit. They kind of get realistic with it with like,
where's your money?
You don't have no fucking income. Like, was Stark giving you money all this fucking time? Like, you know what I mean? He's like, well, it kind of don't work like that. And it's like, well, how the fuck do it work, nigga? You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know. You tell me,
because
man.
You're not fucking Tony Stark, and he not walking in this bitch to tell you, I got it. You know what I mean? Like, so you got a real situation on your hands, and I love that they really got into that. His dialogue with his sister, I absolutely loved. Like getting into how his family shit was going, I fucked with. And this is outside of the action sequence, which I fucked with in the beginning. Like, I love that whole flight sequence. And I never was a fan of like how he fought, but I imagine this series would make me kind of fuck with it a little more. And yeah, that shit was cold. How they did that shit. I'm sure they're gonna expound upon that a little bit later. The Winter Soldier going to therapy shit. I don't want to. Yeah, I'm breaking it down. I fuck with how they doing the Winter Soldier. I feel like they spent a little bit more time with Falcon in this episode specifically, but I'm going into it before they started giving me the Falcon shit. I was more interested in the Winter Soldier because I'm like, I fuck with Bucky more than I fuck with Falcon, so I was more interested in his story. But I really am interested to see how these two stories are going to collide. How they're gonna mesh well with each other. Like you said, the story of redemption, the story of understanding what you've done and getting, forgiving not only or other motherfuckers forgiving you, but you forgiving yourself. And then the story of the, acceptance and stepping into the role that you know that you need to for the betterment of not only you, but the rest of the fucking world. I can't wait to see that story like collide. I fuck with these characters together as a whole. I'm very excited to see where this shit goes. So far, I think they're setting it up really fucking well.
Hell yeah, GB.
Echoing a lot of what Sensei had to say. Really love the Falcon as a character. I really appreciate this first episode and how they got into him. To add on to what Sensei said about Falcon, I really felt like he gave me, nigga in corporate vibes, dealing with the government.
Like, we're gonna figure this shit out.
Yeah.
Are we, nigga? Are we?
I felt a lot of that. Like, decisions is happening around you, and it's looking like I thought I was a part of this, but I'm realizing I ain't really in with the good old boys, and they making moves without me. I appreciate that part of it. As a black man that struggles with depression from time to time, like, I think I'm going to relate to both of these characters a lot. So I'm very excited to see what they get into with Bucky Barnes. For Bucky and Falcon, I love the dynamic that they've already established. Same shit, different toilet, where Bucky is trying to like figure his life out after all these years of being Bucky Barnes and then the Winter Soldier and now back to Bucky Barnes. And Falcon also has like the blip he has to contend with. So like, they're both trying to find self and like pull their lives back together after all this time went missing and like make amends and make things right. Just with one person, with Falcon right now, you're seeing it more family and it seems like on a smaller level. And Bucky is just more methodical right now with having a list of everything he has going on, but I feel like it's the same. I read that the director that did John Wick is also doing this, or someone that did John Wick is also a part of this project.
I haven't seen a single John Wick movie.
What?
Oh, you are
Bro,
big
what?
tweaking, bro.
You are tweaking.
Dude,
Go
There's a
watch
lot
them.
of black movies I haven't seen either. So if this surprises you,
I mean, I knew you weren't hip on the black movies, but I thought you was hip on John Wick, bro.
Yo, John
Bro,
Wick is
if
one of the best.
you like
Ooh.
action movies with amazing fight sequences, it doesn't get better than John Wick. And to me,
doesn't.
it gets better with each sequel, which is insane. The third one is my
insane,
favorite,
bro.
The third one is my favorite, bro. Like, it's amazing.
okay. I'm gonna have to. Is it on any streaming platforms that you guys know of? Or
I know HBO Max or
John
Amazon
Wick-
has them.
It
you said it's
was
on HBO Max or
Yeah.
it's not? It is.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not checking them out. All of them or just
They're spread out.
probably all of them. So I read that they're a part of this project somehow, and I really felt that when I watched the opening scene with Falcon. I felt the close corners, the way that the camera pans and turns on like these sharp angles. I felt Falcon's movements, the speed and pace at which the fight was going. I didn't feel it so much when I watched Bucky Barnes do his little routine on the steps with the Russian soldiers. I felt like that was a little kind of sloppy and dry to me. I didn't know if the right choreo went into that, but it didn't convince. It wasn't what I expected to see from, Bucky as the Winter Soldier. But I definitely felt it when I was watching the Falcon scene. Love the way that his wings are really integrated into his fight style now, and that was just impressive to me all around.
excuse me.
The last thing I really like, and to kind of like pull WandaVision in there too, I like how they're dealing with the world as a whole, like how people are forced to contend with things after the blip. And so whether it's a recession or a global pandemic or anything else that happens, you see like businesses and people and everyone else respond. So I love the way they brought that in, and dude at the bank is like, I mean, before I probably could have worked with you, but things tightened up after that. We got 5 billion people that's back in the world. Like
What you think was
out.
gonna happen?
Yeah, what you thought was going to happen, bro. Instead of 1%, we got 0.2%.
And
they
then
got
you
all
think,
the wealth now.
bro, and then you think about that, it's like you would think that an Avenger would have plug. Like, why can't you can't ask Shuri to fix your boat? Like, no, you can't ask Shuri to fix your boat. Like, you can't just hit up your homies and tell them to just do shit because it's bigger things on their plate.
Yeah, it's hella other shit happening, and I think that's putting it all in perspective of the world for you. Also, another thing is like really considering the good guy factor for these people, because like a thought in my mind is like, knock this whole bank over. Fuck you mean I can't get this loan? Like,
Bro, hey, I don't want to get into spoilers yet because we ain't got that, but that shit had me weak as hell. Go ahead, dude.
But yeah, all in all, I love it. I love that they have put these two characters next to each other. I really want to see where they go. It's only 6 episodes, right?
Is it?
Yes.
Yeah, it's only 6 episodes.
What's the next joint that come out after this?
It's Loki, but that would be
Loki
a month
in
after.
June.
In
Yeah.
June.
Yeah,
So this is
June
only gonna
11th.
be
So there's
6
nothing in
episodes?
between. There's nothing in between this
Nothing.
and Loki. Okay, I'm with
So
that.
I'm a little nervous if they can
It's just Black Widow.
really
if you want to
get
have the
everything
movie,
else.
Yeah,
out
that's what I
in
was
the 6
asking.
episodes,
What phase 4 shit is happening between?
it's just Black Widow. Yeah.
So Black
Yeah.
Widow comes out in May.
May,
Correct.
yeah.
It's still proclaimed to come out in May. It hasn't gotten pushed yet, no delay yet.
I
And
think
then
that movie
Loki
been
is- Loki
done.
is
They
the
was just waiting
summertime
when to
joint.
drop it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was supposed-
overseas and everything.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, it
that
was
movie
supposed to be
been-
out April of last year,
Yeah,
but
Yeah, it
COVID.
was.
that movie been done. They just want to make sure they can get their money for dropping it.
Correct.
Like they
Oh, yeah?
not trying to waste.
Do you
you
think?
know what I'm saying?
Quick side thing. Do you think with them holding out for you, do you think they actually, fix the VFX? Add more, nice CG,
Honestly, don't.
or do you think like, hey, we're done. They're not gonna worry about it.
I don't think.
No, I think they just had a timeline. It was like, we kind of want these films to drop at this point with these TV shows to create like.
Well, I think they had to I
for
think they had to
viewers.
make that. I don't think they had the schedule for the TV shows yet. Like early last year, like
They did. Last year, the original show that was supposed to come out first was not WandaVision. The original first that was supposed to come out first was actually Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah, it was supposed to be Falcon and Winter Soldier first.
Was it? But when?
Yeah.
What date?
September last year or August last year.
Something like that, yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. I feel like
They
'cause
had
by
the date, but then with the pandemic and had the COVID and everything, they had to push because they were still finish your post production, CG to VFX. So they didn't have that in time because people had to be home and everything. So that's why they pushed everything for next year so they could have things ready and not rush over. So I
guess my question is, how are they gonna? And I think that's probably everybody's question. How are they gonna tie in this this Black Widow shit to everything else?
Well, Black Widow. Widow's still
it ties into everything else because like it takes place like around Civil War. So it's like for all of these other shows, all of that shit has already happened.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I thought this was her origin story.
Oh nah, this takes place like around Civil War.
Mid all the shit.
Yeah. This is her origin.
In my mind,
this is her origin of how she became Black Widow, but this is her movie.
No, it's not. It's not her origin, bro. It takes place around Civil War. She's been Black Widow for years.
No. That I know, but I'm saying that we find out how she became throughout the movie because we find out about the Soviets and everything. Like, we find out why she was chosen as Black Widow.
Okay, yeah. So we'll get more information about the Black Widow program.
Yeah, sorry, that's what I meant more. James, thank you for the correction.
It's not her true origin story though.
Correct. Yeah.
In my mind, I'm like, they're doing this movie so that they can introduce a villain that will be prominent in future movies.
Most likely,
I think so. Yeah. Taskmaster.
Taskmaster.
Iron
Maiden.
Not die.
Like he better not die.
Those are
probably introduce a villain and probably introduce like a new concept that's probably gonna show up in the TV shows, I would assume.
Yeah.
So that was what I was thinking, but I definitely thought it was an origin story. Thank y'all for letting me know that it's not.
Of course.
Yeah.
Especially
Vash,
go ahead, Vash.
Go ahead, JB. So you can tell Vash some shit.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, go ahead and give your general thoughts so we can get into spoilers because I'm ready.
He said, "I'm ready."
Honestly, I'd rather us get to spoilers. Like, as much as I could say, my general thoughts. I enjoyed it. It far exceeded my expectations. But I'd rather get into spoiler conversation, James. I'd rather us jump to because I want to jump into a topic that really shocked me. Like, I guess twist is the guy he was hanging out with in the apartment building is the Asian son he killed, and then you finding out that us the audience finding out that was the father, but he was atoning for his sin, but he never had the chance to actually speak up because he feels that weight on his shoulder is so heavy that he can actually speak up about it, and knowing that his father would never find out what it is, and will Bucky actually admit it? Because this feels like it's been eating up because he has nightmares, and like our boy Sensei said, he still cannot tell the whole therapist of the truth about the nightmares. And I love the shot it filmed. The shot was always focusing on his face, like right down the side of his sideburn and everything. That shot was beautiful because it shows that he still has not overcome over his shadow, showing that whole type of cinematography was beautiful, showing that Bucky cannot let go of his shadow of his past. That's why it was shot like that. Beautiful type of style for that.
Yeah, let's just jump into full spoilers. Like, this opening sequence, I loved it. Like, it's so reminiscent of the Winter Soldier movie. Oh my god, the briefing on the plane, the way that Sam jumps out of the plane, the fact that he has another fight with Batroc,
with that kicking nigga. Yeah, I'm that's that same nigga.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. You guys already briefly mentioned like just like the flying mechanics of Falcon and it being way different than anything that we've seen in the MCU. Like, watching them like fly through the canyon, like that entire sequence was dope. Like, what did you guys think?
And plus, he had Red Wing finally from the comics. I'm like, that's dope as well.
He's had Red Wing since Civil War, but it hasn't been upgraded to this point.
Correct.
Yeah, it hasn't been doing
like, how he been. And plus, this useful actually for one. So like, this Red Wing is actually has a missile, has a laser, like a whole laser and everything. Like this,
damn near a mind of its own. He was controlling it before.
Yeah,
like,
man,
he was like dope. Controlling it.
It had, this one has like AI, like he's giving it like complex commands, and it's just going off and doing its own thing. The flight through the canyon, the flight through the canyon, the pilot in me was upset at certain parts of it. Like, that defies the laws of physics. That's not how flight works. But the fan in me was like, go crazy, bro. Like, when he does the wing grapple hug and does the tight spiral in between the canyon, that shit is beautiful. And then when the wings spread again, it's like that's exactly how a bird of prey will do like a deep dive and catch his prey and then go right back into spread wing to like kill his momentum. So like he's very conscious about that. I love how fluid his flight is with the wings and how they really mimic a lot of bird patterns. I think that's important for the Falcon. I would hate if he was stiff and it followed all like aerodynamic airplane rules, because that would be different. And it's why I'm not trying to get too upset about the pilot part of it. But I love how fluid it was in the fight. I say my favorite part of all of that would have to be the last scene where he like goes through the middle. Because my only thought was like, how do you know this motherfucker's not buckled in, bro? Like, what if you hit him and literally like you just ripped the top half of his body off because he buckled in or some shit?
That's a really good point, dude. I didn't even think about that.
And
go ahead.
was that the only one that's actually rooting for Sam to actually get the guy? Like I was hoping that he would go.
You was hoping that they would go to the what was it? What airspace was they?
I forgot what airspace, but I was hoping for Sam
Libya airspace or something.
Yeah, most likely. But I was screaming at the screen like, Sam, go get him! Don't cross the border! You got this, Sam. Let's go!
I wasn't screaming, but I figured he was gonna get him. I didn't know how though.
Yeah.
For me, I love the sequence like through and through. Like I love not only his like aerodynamics and all of that shit that GB was just talking about, but like his brutality. Like I love like the scene when he was that one dude was like going toe to toe with this nigga in the air, and then he ended up throwing this nigga into like a canyon wall, like a fucking, and then he just popped his wings out and stood there like, yeah, nigga, no, I can stop right here.
That was sick.
I'm like, okay, nigga, okay, I see you. Using the missiles to blow up the fucking helicopters and shit. I'm like, okay, yeah, this nigga going crazy, bro. He's going crazy. He was calm and collected the whole time.
When he swooped back and shot past the one helicopter and that missile came and hit him, I was like, oh, you going crazy, bro. You
literally going crazy, bro, because he was like really going through it trying to dodge these shits. And he like, oh, no, fuck that. I'm finna just go across the face of this fucking helicopter and I'm finna have this missile catch, you know what I'm saying, catch his ass in the back end. I'm like, damn, okay.
But that's what I meant earlier about DC. Marvel has always done a good job about capturing like weight and destruction.
Bro,
and what's going on.
I have to ask this question because I ask my friends all of this question all the time, and they can never. Well, I don't want to say they can never give me a straight answer, but I want to hear you niggas answer. Who, in your opinion, has better action sequences? Marvel or DC?
Marvel, they're more believable.
My friends believe it is DC,
and they tweaking.
DC.
I want to hear y'all explanation though.
DC
has good choreography, but because it doesn't have the believability and the weight and everything else behind it, I don't get.
They're gods. It's hard to compare. They're gods. Shazam.
They just need
Aquaman,
to do better with their production. I don't want to hear no excuses. They need to do better with their production. I don't even care about that because Snyder just did it. So everything else, you're defending the Sweden cut for the past 5 years of your life, and now you
I did not defend it for the past 5 years. I did not defend it for the past 5 years. I said I would be optimistic about it. Like, it's cool.
You was defending it. You was caping. But yeah, like I now that I've seen it happen in the Schneider cut, I'm even less open to the excuses I've got in the past, like, oh, they're too strong to show that, because like you can show weight, you can show destruction, you can show like a true scale to their powers, and he did that in his film. And Marvel's always done a great job of doing that, of showing like a scaling factor, so you as the viewer not only have a dope action fight scene, but you're also sitting there like really understanding like what this would mean if it happened in real life too.
JB.
Man, overall, I would have to pick Marvel.
Okay.
But I will say the Batman fight sequence from BVS is better than anything in the MCU.
Anything?
Yep.
And that's the thing that I argue about so much.
In the warehouse?
I think the best.
In the warehouse.
Yeah, bro.
I think the best.
Yeah,
that is good. That is good. The choreography of that fight scene is off the chart.
And I agree, but I think the best fight sequence for me in the MCU is Winter Soldier.
Oh yeah,
in the streets.
When him and Cap are fighting in the street, right?
In the street, right?
Hell yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's always those two for comparisons for me, and I always go with Winter Soldier. But I hear a lot of people say, "Nah, bro, it's the
Oh,
Batman."
yeah, Sensei, you
Bro,
will love
the
John Wick.
BVS, oh yeah.
You're gonna
The
love John Wick.
BVS, oh yeah, all of that in camera, no shaky cam bullshit, no a bunch of cuts, just like straight up like 6 minutes
It's just
of
action.
straight
Ooh.
up hand to hand combat. That's what I'm talking about. So that fight sequence in the warehouse, because Batman fights like 10, 12 dudes at the same time, bro, and it's all in camera. So that's why it gets the slight edge to me. The fight sequence in Wonder Woman, the No Man's Land sequence, when she gets across the entire field and she's fucking everyone up in that little town, like that's also like something that's way up there for me. So I mean,
And
again,
the Man of Steel as
overall,
well.
and Man of Steel, something that like GB brought up earlier on in the show, where he talked about just like the weight of these types of characters and the devastation that they would cause in their fights. That's why I think like Man of Steel is one of the best comic book movies ever made, but that's another episode. But overall, I technically will give it to Marvel, but I think like that Batman sequence in BVS is the best.
But you think on a scale weighing all of the action sequences from Marvel and all of the action sequences
I'll give it to
for
MCU.
DC.
But are we
going
also
for Marvel.
counting Marvel Netflix shows, aka Daredevil, other shows, also
That
DC.
fucking
DC
bro,
also has
every
Arrow
season
and other
of
shows as well.
Daredevil, every season of Daredevil has a fucking
It has a hallway scene.
a single cut hallway scene, or a fucking bro, because the last season has like a whole jail escape sequence.
Yeah.
Nigga, there's
Daredevil always reminds me of have you guys seen what is it, Old Boy?
Mm-hmm.
I heard of it,
those-
but
The original. I refuse
The
to watch
original?
the American version. I refuse.
The original.
It's based- it's pretty
Daredevil
much based
scenes
off
give,
that.
Yeah, give me that, and I'm
Yeah.
always sitting there like, let's go.
Bro,
But if you had the
go ahead.
I would keep Iron Fist off the list. That was some of the worst.
They didn't have time, man. They didn't have time.
Yeah,
Like
I'm not
the
gonna-
dude
I'm
was
not even-
cast,
you know me.
and he had like 4 months to like
Is that
get
what it
ready
was?
to
I don't know the
start
behind the
filming.
scenes with
I
Iron
don't know
Fist. I
behind
just
the
sat down and
scenes.
watched it one day and
he was
didn't
not
like
ready.
It
He was not ready.
wasn't the
And he
best.
also-
But I don't think it was ass chips and gravy, G.
Yeah,
was not ready, GB. It was
I
not ready.
enjoyed Iron
I-
Fist for what it was.
I enjoyed it exactly, JB. I enjoyed it for what it was. I don't think it was the best shit ever. I don't think it's.
It deserves to be better because he's Iron Fist on the
Sure.
comics. He is the strongest.
Yeah.
He's one of the top 10 most compacted. For Marvel. But in the show, it did not show that. And every time this
didn't
dude
show
show
that at
on
all.
screen, he's like, "I'm the Master Kung Lan. I am Danny Rand."
But I'm Danny Rand.
Like,
I
no,
don't give
my
a
God.
shit.
Danny.
I didn't get it at all. To take that back, I feel like me looking at that Winter Soldier scene and thinking like it was kind of
That shit
slow and
cold.
sloppy. Maybe
Wait,
maybe
what?
he wasn't like
Wait. Which Winter Soldier scene? You talking about in the Falcon
not
Winter
not.
Soldier?
I'm talking about in Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Okay, I'm like, nigga,
Oh,
there's
okay,
no
okay.
way you thought that shit was sloppy.
It wasn't
That
up to
shit was
par of what I
cold.
expected from him, considering what I've seen from him. So maybe he was getting back in his rhythm and he wasn't ready for that scene when they filmed it. And so, yeah, like, but I don't think that that's going to be an indicator of what the rest of his fight scenes will look like for the rest of the series. But I didn't necessarily like the one that was in his first episode. And I think there was only 2 major like fight scenes we had was that and Falcon, right?
And then, buddy, the police officer getting his ass beat.
Yeah. We'll get there in a sec. I want to talk to you guys. Like, how do you feel about Falcon giving up the shield? Like, Sensei, I
Tweaking.
want to start with you.
His ass was tweaking, bro, and that kind of bothered me. I'm like, damn, nigga, you gave it back. So, like, when I saw that, I started thinking about how the story would go. And, you know,
Same.
comic brain. I'm like, all right, so which direction are y'all trying to take this? Because now y'all finna have to steal the fucking shield back. Like, you look like a goofy now, because especially at the end where, you know what I'm saying, they're showing how, like, the fact that they've replaced Captain America at this point, which kind of bothered me because I wanted to see I thought it was going to be a funeral in from the trailer.
I
but-
also thought it was going to be a
I
funeral.
thought
Yeah.
it was going to be a funeral too.
from the trailer, but it didn't seem like that. So it seems like that Super Bowl scene is going to be this new nigga going up there. You know what I mean? So that kind of bothered me. I'm like, at least hold down my man's shield. Like,
Right?
you know what I'm saying? It's like you feel like it belongs to somebody else, but the nigga told you it don't. It's yours. Like,
I got
That bothered me because even Iron Man's sidekick, I forgot what's his name. War Machine even asked him, like, saying, like, why didn't you take it? Like, why did
Yeah,
you?
why didn't you
give
take
it
up the
back?
mantle? Like,
And like Steve gave this to you. He didn't give it back to the government. He chose to give it to
He,
you.
he didn't give
And,
it to
like,
me. He didn't give it to
It-
Bucky. He
He
gave it
gave
to
it to
Yo.
you, like you, my guy Sam, and like for Sam to give it back to government, and then literally like 2 days, 3 days later, the whole government announced it. We have this another white guy here becoming Captain America, and Sam was like feeling so much guilt. I'm like, yeah, this is the shit that you just fuck up. Now you have to go take it back.
So when I said earlier that it gave me like corporate black man vibes, like I resonated with the fact that imposter syndrome, right? So one thing that's been about Falcon's character in the movies and what we know about him before this is like he's been a little bit of that straight arrow. He has like a slight edge to him, but he really tries to like do things by the book and do what he feels is right. And also that imposter syndrome of him not feeling like he could be the symbol for America. Like I want to see if they explore that. Like they're really letting him explore his black side with the sister and the family. I want to see if they explore like was he comfortable being the symbol for America at that time? Like what is his decision making process when he gave that shield up? And so for him saying like I feel like it belongs to someone else can mean a number of things. And I definitely took imposter syndrome and like I don't feel like I'm America. Like I don't feel like I'm this country's symbol of hope and peace and justice. I'm probably the opposite to most of the people that look at me. But you, blonde hair, blue eyed Captain America man, or what it was, it needs another you. So kind of like that changing of the guards type thing. Like he'll have to have that moment of acceptance and coming to himself to be able to like own up to that. So I definitely felt like he was tweaking, but I get it. Like it worked for me. But I would have definitely been War Machine too, walking around like, hey bro, what you doing, dog? Like he just gave you the
as an Avenger,
he gave you the promotion.
Bro, as an Avenger off back, I'm not giving no fucking vibranium shield to the government. Like, I'm just not. G.
And plus, also, if you learn anything from Black Panther, don't put anything in the museum. People gonna rob that shit. That's what they did in Black Panther. He literally
The
just
nigga
robbed
walked-
Killmonger finna pull up and had a shield
Bro,
on.
and literally say, no, I'm just digging it.
Yeah,
so
I'm gonna
what
take that back.
What Nova brought up, like Nova thinks that Sam was manipulated into doing it
Into
because
giving the shield back?
because they were already setting up John Walker's what was it, Captain U.S. Agent. It's U.S. Agent.
Yeah.
So they were already setting it up. I don't know if they manipulated him into doing it. I think they definitely asked him, but I'm leaning more towards like what GB is saying. Like, I just think that Sam didn't feel like he was ready to be the symbol of America,
Oh, yeah.
like to be the exact symbol that Steve was. But my biggest issue is that Steve was against the government. You know what you went through in Civil War, where they locked you up, bro. Like, Steve doesn't trust the government, which is why he didn't give it to them, and he gave it to you. If you didn't feel like you were ready, put the shield down, put it somewhere,
He
and then
definitely could've
pick
put
it
in
up
the
when
U-Haul.
you're ready. Exactly, right? Like,
Put it in
pick
the
it up
U-Haul
when
so you're
you're
ready for
ready
it.
to pick up the
You
mantle.
literally could've
Don't
just
give
put in
it
the closet, bro.
don't give it to the government to put into the Smithsonian, and now U.S. Agent has the shield. Like, that really, really pissed me off, bro. Like, he could have kept it.
But at the same time, it's supposed to piss off because by
Yes,
episode
MAGA
2,
cat.
3, they're gonna fight. He's gonna get the shield back and everything. So it's like Sensei said, like once we all saw that scene, once we all saw like, okay, how is it from what we saw in the trailer that he's gonna be training with the shield with Bucky? How are we gonna get there? What's the reason? Like, what is the story plan that's gonna provide us to get there in that field? So that's what I'm curious to know as well. Like
Personally, oh, go ahead. I thought you were done. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say like where are we gonna lead up to, like what is gonna be the confrontation between Agent USA versus
U.S.
Sam.
Agent.
Yeah, so I'm curious to know how's that gonna go.
Personally, I hope it's like a head-to-head, face-to-face. Like he mans up and takes the shield from him, like asserts
I hope that.
his force and dominance, and like steps into that role forcefully. That's what I prefer. I hope it's not some shit like Captain USA is Agent USA is caught like lacking, and or the shield ends up in some facility or they steal it on the side. Like I don't want any like kind of like sidestepping routes about it. I hope that he mans up like 1-to-1 and he's moving how the government moves, where we're doing it for justice, but it's really all crooked and dark, and they man up and do the right thing as the vigilante and
Mhm.
snatch the shield back, like take it back and take the symbol for what it is. That's what I
Yeah.
personally
I'm
want to
more
see.
than likely. I'm thinking that Agent Justice or whatever the fuck y'all call him
U.S. agent, yeah.
is gonna end up being an op and be exposed as an op, and then it'll justify the shield getting taken back.
Yeah. I'm with Chief, right? Like
Yep.
they didn't want a black dude to be the symbol of America.
They definitely
And that's something that Kevin Feige and Anthony Mackie talked about in interviews, where that was going to be something that they really lean into on this show.
I'm very happy
That
about that.
that the government simply didn't want a black symbol, and they wanted another white boy with blonde hair, blue eyes to be the new symbol of America. And US Agent was a part of the Weapon Plus program, which is yet another program that tried to make a new version of the super soldier serum, right?
Everybody.
And he is going to be a somewhat successful version of that. And we also get that with the flag smashers, the guys with the mask, with the hand on the mask, right? So let's talk about them. So in the world of the MCU, the Flag Smashers believe that the world was better during the blip, where everyone was kind of more together and unified. And now that everyone's back to being fucking assholes. It's like, so what do you guys think about the Flag Smashers, and do you think they'll have like a big impact on the show?
I hope they have a huge impact on the show. Sensei pitched the concept to me earlier when we was talking that, and correct me if I say this wrong, that the guy that beat the fuck out the police officer could possibly be Agent USA.
I think that they're gonna go that route.
Yeah, he threw that one at me earlier, and I was like, oh yeah, I didn't even look at it that way. I looked at it more like either it's gonna be something totally off the wall or some bullshit, like it's Red Skull that's did some plan to infiltrate the government as Captain America, or it's some secondary program that is like off the list, some black shit, and maybe the guy from the Flag Smashers is also part of that program, and we're just seeing like kind of like that thing branch out. So I like that idea from Sensei. The Flag Smashers is another thing I think comes from the blip, and I think it fits perfectly with the story of Bucky and with Falcon of like recapturing what was and learning how to come to terms with the present, like learning how to let go of the past and like come to terms with the present to like move in a better direction. And so the Flag Stuffers are just another group that shows that people are really holding on to the past and don't know how to let that go. And so it's going to cause conflict as always. I also like how Falcon is the one that drops the line that whenever something goes really well for a group, there's another group that it went really bad.
I was literally finna say that shit, bro.
I love that.
That line was so fucking fire because it just speaks to everything that's happening right now. Like, even though, we won, it's still a whole bunch of niggas that's gonna feel like, nah, it was better when you niggas lost.
It was better this way. And I think that's just like the human nature. Like, we try to act like the great divide is black versus white, or it's the have versus the have nots, but there's always two sides to every story, and no matter how you look at it, whether it's men versus women or adults versus children, baby boomers versus Generation Z, there's always like those competing sides, and they have different ideals and views on what makes it great. I love that Marvel does a good job of tying it to their stories, because that is what human nature is. The cost of all of us having individuality is also us struggling to like work together. So I'm really interested to see where they go with the Flag Staffers. I like that whole concept and how they brought it in, and I think it's going to fit great within this story.
Yeah, I mean, it's way better than the comics. I mean, Flag Smasher was one dude in the comics, and now they turned it into a liberation group, if you want to call it that. Like, I don't believe in what they're doing, but they sure do. So I really want to see like how they play into what Falcon and Winter Soldier are doing. I want to see if Zemo even has like any correlation with these people. So Zemo was one of the names on Bucky's list of things that he needs to make amends of. Like, what do you think that even means? Like, do you think that he aims to stop Zemo, or like,
I think Zemo's
what do you
still
think?
around, or the Zemo
Definitely.
agenda is still around. While we talking about Bucky's list, Vash brought it up earlier that Torahima, and I think that was his name. Torahima is at the top of his list, but like it's probably gonna be the last person he gets to. I feel like Bucky wrote the list out in the order of people that affect him the most. Like he's having nightmares about this kid, and that's why it's at the top of his list. But he probably wrote that list out in the order of people that affects him the most. So I expect him to work backwards through the list. I do believe that the Zemo agenda is still out there at the very least, if not actual like Zemo himself. And I want to see what that storyline develops too. Probably something to do. It could have something to do with the Flagstaffers because they have that element of technology built into what they do now. Like they've already taken advantage of apps and they're using augmented reality with these tags that are all around the city. Like they're very deeply invested. So whoever's doing this stuff has a very strong understanding of technology and how it can be used. And so I could definitely see a modern day Zemo being at the head of that.
Yeah, Vash?
With Zemo, I'm curious to know how Buck is going to handle that. Like, what is it that he's trying to redeem himself within the 3 rules of what the therapist told him about? Like,
Love how I'm drinking liquor and y'all drinking water. Fuck y'all. Go ahead, though.
I actually don't have any liquor in the house, bro. Well, I got 1 bottle of wine, but it's the anniversary bottle, so I can't pop that shit.
This nigga JB. Oh yeah, I've been.
I gotta stay hydrated, man.
Same here as well. I get my 2 water bottles. I'm about to be done. But about Zemo, I'm really curious to know how's that gonna be with Bucky. Like, where is the story and how's it gonna connect? Like, it's like what GB said. Is it gonna connect to the Flag Smashers? And how's Falcon gonna be involving with Bucky? With Zemo, is he gonna be connecting with Sam because of what happened with Tony's parents and everything? So is Bucky gonna be like, hey, I need some help for some closure? So I'm really curious to know how's that gonna be connecting the dots with that storyline with Zemo.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch Bucky go down this. Go ahead, Sensei.
I was gonna say that's actually really interesting because I didn't think of how he would make amends to Tony's family, if that makes sense. Like, am I gonna see pepper scenes? Like, is he gonna be taking his daughter to daycare you know what I mean? Like, how would you really do that? You know what I mean?
I think that's also a good lesson that he just won't be able to make amends to everyone. And I mean, just from this episode, we see that he's doing it in the wrong way possible. Like, getting to know the Asian dude's dad and befriending him. Like, Chris brought it up when we were texting before the show, but it's like he's talking to this older man because this is someone that he would relate to more than anyone else. But it's also
to his age in this whole show right now.
Because he's 104, right?
106, bro.
106. He's the closest person in his age group, and he's still
he
younger
so
than him.
Casual too on the date.
Yeah,
that shit weird. She definitely thought he was tweaking too. Right?
Yeah. He said, "Hey, Emmanuel, how old are you?" I'm like,
"You're so funny. You play all day. You play all day."
I'm like, man, I'm 106 years old. Like, the fuck you talking about?
Yeah, so it's like it's that, and then like you're going about it the wrong way, dude. Like, befriending his dad is only going to make things worse for you mentally, I think. Like, I think I don't even know. Like, I'm not a like a psychologist. Like, I'm not sure like what would be the best course of action, but I don't think him befriending the dad of this person that he killed is the right course of action, because it's going to come up constantly and he has to relive that trauma every time he sees him and in his nightmares. So I don't think it was the best course. Like, what do you guys think?
It's gonna get worse for him. He already like you
real
already
quick, because I might have missed this when I was watching it because I have a dog and he terrorizes me. The person he killed was in his dream was the dude who was like, I didn't see anything. That person, right?
Yeah, correct.
Okay, I caught that. Okay.
Yeah, so I think it's gonna terrorize him even more because like you already had this traumatic experience with this guy and you had no relation to any part of him. So like you should have just walked in and ripped the Band-Aid off, but he probably like had an interaction with this guy.
I couldn't do that.
And something in the beginning of that interaction like triggered him to build a friendship. And now he's built a friendship with probably one of the only people in the world he can relate to who's like closer in his age. I don't know how old this guy is, but he presents as quite old. So he's built this friendship with this guy. It's just going to get harder and harder. So I don't know how he's going to tackle that.
That's the thing. How does the government... My bad. Go ahead, GB.
but like you said, JB, he's going about it all the wrong ways. But I like that aspect of his therapy because normally, the main thing is you have to put in the work, right? So normally people don't have the resources and abilities that a Bucky Barnes has. Like you in therapy and you choosing not to do the work is just like, yeah, instead of going to do that, I just went home and went to sleep. But for Bucky, him choosing not to do the work is like, yeah, I followed all your rules. Didn't really follow all the rules. Like, yeah, I put a bug and like did all this other stuff and set her up. And so he made amends to what he considers amends, but he didn't really heal himself in that situation. He just did more of what he was used to doing, and he wiped the slate or kind of made things even, but that didn't heal him for what it was he did. Like he didn't solve the problem. So it's nice to see that he's still deeply struggling with like letting go of his past behaviors while he tries to do the work, but he's on some type of path. But
Who
to
came
the
up with
old guy,
who
yeah,
came
he's
up
not
with
gonna-
that? Who came up with this like redemption task for him? His therapist or the
His
government?
therapist. The therapist is like working with him, and so like one of her things was like,
I know, but
So, like,
the government also has rules, so that's why I'm
Yeah,
like,
Correct.
it's
Yeah,
his
government
therapy
as
is
well.
government mandated. Yeah.
it's
Correct.
mandated. He has to
It
go to
is-
therapy.
It's been the government said that.
but he doesn't have to make amends to these motherfuckers.
This is the therapist's recommendation to him. To
Correct.
start the healing
Yes.
process. Is to
It's been
make
the government said
amends.
that he's a civilian now, so he needs to prove that he's not a danger to society.
Yeah,
So,
that's the only
and
thing that the
therapist-
government cares about.
Yes, that he doesn't cause any more trouble or any more havoc. So, but the therapist said like you need to make amends for your nightmares and everything that you're having, and those nightmares are probably caused by trauma, things that he regrets from doing. So that's why probably he's doing this type of amends.
But that's so crazy. I mean, it makes sense because I guess
She gave him
Hydra.
rules to try to prevent that. Like you can't do
Hydra
anything
was-
illegal. You can't kill people. And I forgot what the third rule was, but it's funny to see that Bucky is the Winter Soldier, a man who is very used to working outside of the rules and outside of time itself. So to think that he would abide by the 3 rules that you set, no matter
That's
how
what I'm saying. Like,
infallible
it's
you
so
think they are.
crazy because,
It's
like,
funny.
obviously, Hydra was in control of all of the shit that he was doing, and Hydra was exposed as being like a part of the government that was super corrupt and yada yada yada. And now they gone, so presumably the non-corrupt government is in place now. But it's like, if everything I was doing was off the books, how do I even, you know what I mean? Like, all of these people that I'm addressing that I may have hurt one of their family members or what have you, they don't even know what the fuck happened. So, like, when GB said, he probably should have came in and just ripped the Band-Aid off, like, there's absolutely no way to do that. Because if I hear that my mom or my sister or whoever dies in a car crash and then some niggas knocks on my door, no, well, actually I shot your mom in the head and then put her in a car and made it go off a cliff. It's like, what? You know what I mean? Like, there's
in this
just
guy's case, he
absolutely no
literally
way.
doesn't know. Like he knows his son was murdered at the hotel against the door. So he doesn't know who the murderer. He's had no closure. So this case is a little bit different than that.
But you get what I'm saying?
I get exactly what you're saying. Like, how do you make amends? Because these people they've had a whole life where something else was
Some
the
of
case.
some of the shit could have been closure. Like,
Yeah.
Tony's closure, where he felt like I didn't really. The last conversation I had with my parents wasn't the best, but they died in a car crash. So it's like, what could I have done? So there wasn't really much closure needed. But then he found out, no, they didn't die in a car crash.
They were
They were
assassinated.
killed. Right, they were killed by so and so by hand. You know what I mean? Like,
I will say, right, I need to see more of the list and I need to see more episodes. But based on the names of the people that were on the first page of that list, there are a bunch of Hydra agents and like other villains and other people that were put into place by Hydra. So him making amends with this group of people is him trying to remove these evil people from within like the branches of government that he put them in. So I do need to see more footage to see like more of those innocent families
because the
and
first
see how he's going to
the
pay
first
amends
people
to
in the
those
car
people.
were like Hydra people, right?
Yeah, those were
Yeah.
Hydra,
Yeah.
old
And
Hydra agents.
Can I add one more thing?
Of course.
We don't know that the therapist knows exactly who is on this list. All we
Right.
know is that the therapist has told him to make amends and that this is his work to do. So whatever convoluted Batman Bruce Wayne sense of justice he has right now, he's gone out and made this list of amends that he thinks is going to heal himself. And he's put these Hydra agents up. And maybe if I go and right my wrongs and like remove these people from office and remove these people from power, then I too will be absolved of all the crimes and the bad deeds that I did. So we don't know that he's thinking in the right mind or where the therapist has led him. We just know that she told him that he has to heal and make amends. And this is what he's chosen to do, to make those amends. These are the people that he handpicked. But the therapist might be thinking that he's going to the Avengers being like, yo, like, I'm sorry for the trouble I gave y'all in the war. Or
you having a second
like
second therapy session with the Avengers?
Yeah, she might think that he's having totally different interactions with different people. And until he reveals to her, like he revealed who the senator was on the list today. It's like, yeah, I did X, Y, and Z, but she don't have the whole gist of what's happening on his list or what he's doing unless he tells her.
Yeah, man.
I am very excited. This series looked like it's going to be very fun. Out the gate, I enjoyed this first episode more than I enjoyed the first episode of WandaVision. I'll say that.
Which makes sense. But also I wanted to talk about the bank scene with Sam.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about that too.
With Sam and his sister, and with the banker saying like, "Hey,"
that shit was fucking hilarious.
Where Sam was getting mad, where the banker's like, "Hey, you guys are not approved, but can I still take a picture of you?"
Literally,
and
bro,
also,
the nigga said,
and also, can your arms pop out too? So
wait,
dude,
are you fucking kidding me?
Dude, you serious? I was
Bro.
looking for Sam to like smack the dude.
First of all, Sam trash as fuck for that. He was like, "Wait, bro, did you like play for the Falcon?" He's like, "Do you know me from somewhere?"
Bro, because he was setting up. Even before he looked at him, Sam was sitting over there trying to
literally, bro. I'm
give
like,
him the
this
profile
nigga,
shots.
This nigga Sam is so fucking.
He's like,
trash.
"Hey, I'm trying to get that plug. I'm an Avenger. Give me the plug."
I'm like,
to me, this is greater symbolism of just how the government and all of these things that are in place do not take care of our soldiers. They do not take care of the people that actually put in the work to make lives easier for everyone else. How can I have any type of payment history if I was literally not in existence
I didn't exist
for the
for
last
5
5 years? There should be a program to help these people. Like, that made me think, all of these people that lost their jobs, their homes in the blip,
And
when
their
they come
savings.
back, it's going to be impossible for them to get a loan to get their homes back. Like, the government has to do better for these people. Like, that shit really pissed me off, bro.
Yeah. And plus, what sucks is that if Sam was gone, if Sam was blip, at least the government should have protected the sister or the family or a sister, with what's going on. But the government did nothing. And when Sam told the banker, like, "Hey, I have government contracts. As you see, I make the money. Like, just give us some time." And they said, like, "Hey, we know your family has been here with us for generations, but I can't approve you." The sister was not having. I love the actress. Girl did a fantastic job showing the emotions, showing the frustration, showing her mood about this whole situation. And plus the chemistry with both of them is amazing. Like, it shows that brother-sister type of bond, but shows them that the whole sister does not approve that he went to the Air Force and everything. Like, it shows the nice chemistry. With this one episode, I love the chemistry already, and I can't wait to see them grow and everything.
Love
I
the
was
sister.
going to echo everything you said. Like, sometimes people do a really bad job with black casting, but I think they did really, really good in this series. Like, you see the brother-sister chemistry between them, and it's evident. Like, when they're arguing on that boat, and he's kind of like, he knows he's pushing her buttons, but he's still pushing it in a joking way, and she's like, "I'm sick of this nigga." But like,
even after the bank sequence,
the
bank sequence was like, "Bro, I own half that boat and the crib, so
what you gonna do?
You
Fight
got to
me.
fucking deal with me."
The other thing about Falcon is like, JB, you talked about like the soldiers and everyone that did the work. Like, I just hope it comes into play. Like, how are you gonna cope with the fact that like you Falcon, you part of the movement? Like, would none of y'all be here if not for me? Like, how, like, mentally that's got to mess with you. Like, after like
that's
episode 3,
literally a superhero thing, G. Like,
And he said it, and he said it beautifully, that we do because of goodwill. He said it that we do because of goodwill. Yes, we don't get paid for it, but we do it because of goodwill, and we hope that people could replicate that. And Sam said that beautifully.
That went right over Bank Teller head.
Yeah,
he
said,
just like, "Oh
yeah,
that'd be nice."
Well, I'm not gonna get fired because I gave your broke ass $300,000.
But I still want that picture though.
Imagine the Falcon on Twitter with a GoFundMe, like, yeah, man, just got back from outer space, bro.
This guy
Times
got
is
back
hard.
from beating Thanos. I know half of you motherfuckers wasn't here,
But
but y'all here
if y'all
now
got
because of
anything,
me.
look out for me, man. I need a boat or whatever, man. My GoFundMe link is right here. I got a video where you can see what I'm talking about.
That
We
shit,
making hot
man.
plates on Saturday and Sunday. Pull
Facts
up and
with
get
the
you a
shrimp.
plate.
With the
Hot water
shrimp.
cornbread, like.
To Nova's point, right? Sam even brought up, look, you can see I have government contracts. You can see that I have a stable stream of income. You can give me the loan and I can pay it. What is the big deal? They just don't want to take care of these people. Like, it's so fucked up.
And I love how well it was played out, like showing that the sisters to say like they don't want to help us, like saying like them black people, like of what she was implying to, like to the bank and like they don't want to help us. And to me, it was beautifully handled. It did not feel forced. It was well written and it was well directed for that scene too. Those two actors did an amazing job for that scene as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, John, I definitely think that we're going to see like Felicia Hardy do like full Black Cat with like her own version of the super soldier serum. The question is when that's going to happen, because I have no idea when that can happen.
Felicia Hardy was in this episode? That's his sister?
No.
I'm like, that wasn't his sister?
No. Because John is just bringing up just like the super soldier program in general, because all over the world they're trying to create their own versions of the serum.
Yep.
And that's how like Black Cat gets her powers and everything.
But if this, so wait.
And because they happened with
the
Jessica
last
Jones.
Spider-Man movie, how y'all think they gonna do that?
Oh, this is not definitely the last Spider-Man film. They
Yeah.
have, trust me.
Do you feel like they gonna do more?
Yeah.
It's gonna make money. They're gonna be like, oh, just making more money.
The
Let's do
IP
another
makes too much
contract.
money.
I'm saying the last MCU Spider-Man film.
Oh no, it's not. Trust me, there's gonna be more.
You don't think that? You think they gonna work something out with
Working on the
Sony?
deal out. Money talk, bro.
Oh
Money
no,
always-
bro. Sony
always
be
talk,
trying to
bro.
get their money too.
Yeah, but
Sensei.
they made a new deal with Marvel Studios, right? So it's an
I thought it was
interconnected
for one
universe.
Not for more.
It's for the rest of the movie. So it's
I thought it
technically
was
all
just for this one.
connected, but Sony has all like the distribution rights and like they
For
have
Spider-Man.
final say. Yeah, they have final say on like creativity and stuff. But Kevin Feige has a lot of input too. So the new deal works really well. So we're definitely going to get more Spider-Man movies because he's going to be.
Because I feel like the last
Venom at
one,
some
their
point.
issue was that Kevin Feige felt like he didn't have the bandwidth to do, like they wanted him to do their movies too, right?
Yeah.
And he was like, bro, I can't do y'all shit and this shit.
Yeah,
and they
that's
was
not-
like, all right, well, fuck that. So now it's like we'll pick and choose what movies we want to do with you type shit.
Now what I
So
got from it is now he's in more of a total overseer position, and so like he's very hands-on when it comes to like what integrates with the MCU. And then Sony still owns all the rights, so Sony is going to big pub, and anything they do, like they're going to consult. So you won't have situations like with Justice League and Aquaman where like one's using air bubbles and the other's not. Like they're going to have some sense of continuity between the two universes or however they set
But
that
he's
up.
not gonna oversee Mephisto.
He doesn't have to be hands-on and like direct everything.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
do
like
everything by
Venom
himself.
2, Kevin Feige doesn't have anything to do with that. Like that's straight up Sony. Like so only the things that are interconnected with the MCU, like he has like some creative control over. Yeah,
so
but
are they not gonna integrate the Venom shit into Spidey?
Oh, they are.
Yeah, eventually, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But I want to get you guys like final
right on.
thoughts on Falcon and Winter Soldier before we head out for the night. Sensei, I want to start with you.
That shit was fucking lit. I love how personal that shit got. I like I said, my goal. I went into this with the goal. If y'all can make me fuck with Falcon even a little bit, like because he was really just one of those blah whatever nigga characters for me. If y'all can make me like him even a little bit, if y'all can make me, give a fuck about his story, give a fuck about him, make him a likable character for me, y'all won. They did that shit in the first episode for me. Like he was 80% less trash to me, or less whatever the fuck to me in this first episode than he's been in the entirety of his MCU appearances. Like just him interacting with his sister and nieces was more of what I needed to see from him than I've ever seen. Like, you know what I'm saying? His opening sequence was the best action we've seen from him since he's been in MCU.
Facts.
So I 1000% fuck with it. I'm very excited to see what the rest of Bucky's story is gonna be. I want to see how they're interwoven. I want to see how they connect, but they have won me over with making me fuck with Falcon in this first episode. So yeah, and it's a lot of like, you know what I'm saying, hearing you guys talk through it. It's a whole lot of fucking issues that need to be addressed that I didn't even think about. And it feels like it's a Captain America movie. Like the Captain America movies have always been rooted in this world is fucked up. Like this is a fucked up world. This is a fucked up system, and I'm trying to fix it. Like literally every single one. Like his first movie was you know what I'm saying, the army is on some bullshit, not really like, you know what I'm saying, I go through this program, but y'all got me as the face, but I don't really get to do shit because y'all think I'm trash.
Right.
So y'all are trash. The second movie is fucking Hydra runs Shield, so everything I thought was good is not good. So I need to overthrow Shield / Hydra. And the third movie was the fucking Sokovia Accords, which is literally the government after Hydra saying I can't even be what I am. You know what I mean? Like without them saying yes or no. So, and I feel like this is gonna follow suit with that same trend of the government is fucked up. This shit is not right. We need to, you know, fight this in some way. So I think, and with that in mind, I think it's gonna have a whole lot of crazy ass implications towards future movies, past Widow, of course.
Let's go.
Vash, I want to toss it to you.
Overall, like I told James back in the beginning of the month of January, was curious to know of Falcon and the Winter Soldier and how it's gonna continue the story of Sam and Bucky. The characters in the comics are so different from the movies, and how in the movies, like, you know, WandaVision were very underutilized, where we, you know, couldn't appreciate them as characters itself, where we only appreciated, you know, Captain America, Iron Man, and everything. Now we actually have WandaVision that we both care about them a lot more. Sam and Bucky, knowing from the first episode, I care about Sam, I care about her sister, his sister a lot more, where we actually know that he has nieces and nephews and everything, and knowing that they have money problems just like regular humans out here. We are about to get stimmy, and people just be spending like no tomorrow, and there's memes out there, so it's just very hilarious. And we got Bucky go to therapy, which is something very normal for a lot of people to, you know. So I love this first episode, and I'm very excited to know what the next 5 episodes are in store. I can't wait for the action sequence. Can't wait to see how Falcon Sam handles the shield as well. Very excited to see all that intertwined with each other, and for the grander scale of the MCU, and how does it connect with the other films in the future.
Yeah.
Beckford.
GB?
Like Sensei, this is 100% feels like a Captain America movie. I love that how they told the character stories and how they present them. Falcon is 100% the ideals of Captain America without the perspective, and Bucky is the perspective of Captain America without the ideals. And I love that mix of them. I love how it blends together and how they show how well they match. Their stories are going to match up. I'm really excited for the fight scenes. I love the whole first episode of it. I want to see how everything plays out with the government, with both of them adjusting back to the world they've been thrown back into. And then also how do they take what's been given to them, conquer that world, and step out of that on top. So I really had no real flaws, no negatives about this episode, which is surprising as fuck because I didn't think I was going to like it this much. But yeah, like they knocked this one out the park.
I can't wait to see Winter Soldier catch bullets with his metal hand.
It's gonna be sick.
That scene when he did that shit in Civil War, that shit was so fucking lit to me. Like they were shooting them shotguns. He smack. Damn, this nigga is catching bullets. He just catching them shits.
I just came for the new fits.
I love seeing that. I want to see them like. I hope this feels like John Wick, Captain America, like 24. I want to see them like nonstop, just like how we gonna deal with all this? Just shit keep coming. We just perennially down bad right now, and we just got to keep adjusting and trying to go with the times. And I want this to be two men that are like behind, trying to fight just to break even, and like come to the present, break even.
Yeah, man. Like, just to echo everything you guys said, like, this was such a great show, such a great opening to this show. Getting to know Sam and Bucky as people, you know what I mean? Because that's what they are. Like in comics, sometimes it's hard to see these beings as people because of all of their abilities and everything. But just getting to break down everything that they're about, because we're definitely going to get all of those amazing fight sequences. We will get a bunch of Falcon and Winter Soldier team up fight sequences that I can't wait for. I can't wait for a rematch between like Bucky and Zemo to see how Bucky's going to react to him. I can't wait to find out more about the Flag Smashers. Like, there's so much potential for where the show can go. I can't wait to watch those sequences with Sam training with the Shield. That's gonna be amazing, watching him just working out like how that shield works. Like, this show has a lot of potential.
Wait, what's Spider-Man saying? This thing defies all the laws of gravity, doesn't it?
Yeah,
That shit was funny as
this thing defies the laws of physics.
physics, doesn't it? Go ahead, G.
You're good. But I can't wait for all of that stuff, man. Like, this, like WandaVision, has so much potential to do great things for these characters, like you said, Sensei, that we didn't get much from in the movies. That one opening sequence with Falcon, again, like you said, is the best thing that we've seen from Falcon in the entire MCU. So this is the wave. This is the new wave that I want to consume MCU content. I want more of these TV shows. I'm so excited for Loki to see
Loki
how
will be so lit.
Oh
I
yeah,
love
how Loki's gonna interact with the Time Bureau, how the Time Bureau is gonna talk about Kang the Conqueror, and how that connects to Quantumanium, bro.
Like
Like,
for the comedy.
yeah, bro. Like, the MCU is doing bids right now, and they're killing it, man. So I want to thank you guys so much for joining me on this episode.
We appreciate
it. Sensei, let the people know where they can find you online.
Oh, GB.
It's on me. It's on you. It's on me. I'm gonna take it.
So you.
Thank y'all for having me on the show. I really enjoyed it. Like I said, this was my first non-anime podcast, and I had a blast. This first episode for me was just as great as the Falcon and Winter Soldier episode. So thank you for that. Once again, if anybody doesn't know, I am GB from the Worst Generation podcast, host and creator. We are the exploratory anime and manga podcast. You can find us at worstgenerationpodcast.com. You can find us on Twitter at worstgenpod. Check us out. Fuck with us if you're into anime and manga. We where it's at.
Yo, man, what's cracking, man? It's your boy, Sensei Glove, the ball head black anime nerd, the ball barbarian, the ball blastoise, the ball bitch smacker, the ball ballroom dancer. Back in this bitch, Mr. Gloves Off, King Glove, first of his fucking name, long may he fucking reign. I've been drinking, as you niggas can see. I had a great fucking time. You guys can catch me on Instagram and Twitter at Sensei Lake Glove. Subscribe to my YouTube channel if you want to talk about a whole lot of anime and get a whole lot of niggatry from a real nigga that fucks on anime right here. Also, shout out to Worst Gen Podcast, and I am part of the Worst Gen Podcast. If you like the merch that we providing, I'm providing, and he got a backdrop of. Go ahead, cop that shit. Go to our website at worstgenerationpodcast.com because we are those niggas. And if you thought it was other niggas, no, it's us. We those niggas. So I fuck with y'all. Fuck with you, JB. Fuck with you, Vash. I appreciate y'all for having us on, bro. Y'all them niggas, man.
Vash?
As one of the hosts here, we appreciate you guys for being here, and we appreciate for the chat being here, and for the people watching the VOD later. Like, comment, subscribe, and follow me at Legendary Vash, Twitter, IG, and everywhere else. And also, if you have not joined the C4S Discord, join that, because that's where we will do watch parties. That's where I will be watching Falcon and Winter Soldier every Friday mornings before we go live that Friday night. And Superman Lois, if I'm home that Wednesday, we will be watching there on the Discord. We will promote that, and definitely join the Anime Discord for anime and manga readings and watches. Definitely check that out, and see you guys on Sundays for my hair discussion, because I keep hearing it's going to be a huge chapter. Me and James are hugely excited because we saw that one panel. So if you are manga readers, definitely check out our Anime Lily content as well. James,
like the stream,
the streameth, niggas.
Yes, you guys know you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at JB Exclusive. You can also find our other Twitter account at C4 Spoilers, where we will be giving you guys updates on all of the future guests that we have, updates on when we're going to be doing different shows, reaction videos, movie reviews, because Vash and I still need to review Coming to America. So
and
that's
many
going
more
to be
stuff.
dope. and many more things. Make sure that you guys please subscribe to the Worst Generation podcast. These guys do amazing work, which is why I had to get them on the show to talk comics and everything. I love listening to GB talk about this kind of stuff. I love listening to Sensei talk about this kind of shit. So it's going to be lit having them back on future episodes. I want to get you guys back for like episode 5. I think that would be amazing.
1000%.
And then whatever else happens in the future. But thank you guys in chat.
You got
so much
somebody for
being
episode
here.
6? Can we do episode
Hey,
6?
yeah. Let me hop on with
We can do
Knox.
the Alpha
I know
Omega.
you're gonna pull Knox nugget head ass in this motherfucker.
Yeah,
You know,
I
Sensei better
got
than Knox.
Let me get Knox in this bitch. Let me get Knox.
Yeah, I already got well, I'm trying to get Knox. I'm trying to get my boy Chris to come on the finale, but we can have like a huge panel. I don't care. I think that would be dope.
I'm with that.
Yeah. But make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, turn on those post notifications so you're notified of new videos, and we will see you guys on the next one.
Bye, niggas.